My name is Mwazomela Thurmond. If you have any questions regarding this presentation, feel free to reach out to me or take a picture of my QR code to visit my website. Before we discuss the pricing strategies of a seller, let's imagine that you are a buyer. And here's a little story to go along with that. After months of looking for properties, you finally go through with getting pre-approved for a home. The lender offers you a pre-approval letter with a price for a home at $325,000. You go on countless tours every weekend and even on evenings during the weekdays. You're sure you've seen every home within a 5-mile radius and within your budget. Then, one day, you find one that has everything you're looking for, plus it's priced at $300,000. What would you offer the seller, knowing that it's been on the market for 60 days to secure the home? Now let's imagine a slightly different scenario where you're still the buyer looking for a property. So again, after months of looking for properties online, you go through with getting a pre-approval letter for a home priced at $325,000. You go on tours every weekend and every evening you can. You swear you've seen every home within a 5-mile radius and within your budget. But here's the difference. One day, a new home pops up in the market and it has everything you're looking for, and it's priced at $300,000. What would you offer the seller, knowing it's a home that's been on the market for one day to secure the home? If you're like most people, you would probably offer the home that's been on the market for 60 days slightly less than asking, and the home that's been on the market for one day exactly what they're asking for or slightly over. This is because people consider how long properties have been on the market, and market-sensitive pricing is the key to getting maximum exposure and ultimately a successful sale. Here are 3 things to consider as we determine the best pricing strategy for you. Prospective buyers determine a property's value based off the location, the design, the amenities, and the current condition. They will compare it to properties that are also on the market, and they'll evaluate the economic conditions that affect the real property in transactions. You may be surprised to know that certain factors don't influence the market value of a home as much as you may assume. The price the seller originally paid for the property, or the seller's net estimate of profit when they sell the home, as well as the amount spent on improvements, can vary depending on the market and the exact buyer who's willing to pay that amount. So what we want to consider is pricing homes within a market range that can generate showings and offers, as well as sell with less days on market because we priced it accurately. Properties that are priced too high tend to have a more difficult time selling, so we'll try to determine a realistic price that would cause a buyer to make an offer. Our goal is to choose the best price to maximize the exposure. When a buyer goes to get a loan, they typically get an approved sale price with the same pricing ranges that you see when you search for a home on any real estate website. The sale price will usually end in a 0, 25, 50, or 75. Buyers will typically look for homes at or below the sale price the lender sets. When we set our price to end in these numbers, we get maximum exposure because the buyers in a minimum of 2 pricing brackets will see your home instead of just 1. The lender may give a loan that ends in a different number, but that's because of the down payment they will put forth. Here are 2 graphs that indicate buyer activity based off fair market value and how long the property has been on the market. With the first graph, you can see that when a property is priced at fair market value, as much as 60% of people will come and tour the property or be interested in coming to tour the property. When we price a home less than 10% or at 10%, 92% of people will be interested in coming to see the property. If we were to go the opposite direction and price it 10% above fair market value, we can see the number of prospective buyers drops to about 2%, which is a pretty drastic difference. Below this graph, you'll see the activity market report over the course of several weeks. In week 1, people are just discovering the home is on the market, so activity is still quite low. Week 2 and week 3 is when we see the greatest jump in activity. This is because most people are aware of the home being on the market. They decide to come tour the property or make an offer during this time period. As we go to week 4 and 5, there is still a chance you might receive an offer, but activity is much lower, and like we indicated before in our story, you may be more likely to see offers that are slightly lower than asking, only because the market has been notified and hasn't really responded. So pricing strategy is what we use to determine what we list the home for. We have 3 marketing strategies that most people use to price a home. The first strategy is data-driven. Some agents and clients want to price a home based off data from a comparative market analysis, or a CMA. There are a few reasons why you may want to consider this option. The first reason is that they're trying to get as close as possible to the appraisal price. The second is that they don't want to offend the pricing sensibilities of a buyer or a buyer's agent. The third reason may be personal reasons. They may be in a hurry to get to another home, job, or to their family. The second pricing strategy is called less is more. This is when the price is set lower than expected to be competitive, receive multiple offers, and possibly create a bidding war. The reason you might choose this is because you are in a hurry to leave the home. Just know that when I represent you, I would never tell another agent any confidential information that may negatively affect our negotiations, because once they have that leverage, they may be more inclined to make a lower offer, knowing that you are in a hurry. The third pricing strategy is retail pricing. This means setting the price higher than you need because you assume buyers will want to negotiate and offer less than asking. The main reason you might want this option is because it's the conventional way of pricing. Buyers and sellers will be happy to walk away knowing they both got a great deal. With a changing market, however, we need to analyze pricing trends to see if this is competitive or limiting our chances of getting the highest and most realistic offer. When we meet, we will analyze the current real estate market using a comparative market analysis. I will share with you the properties that buyers will be comparing to your home. I'll share a list of active, pending, and sold properties in your area, and then together we'll determine the most effective pricing strategy. So which strategy aligns best with your philosophy? Did you know that most real estate professionals pick strategy number 3 when they put their home on the market? If you were to choose this strategy, just keep in mind that we are careful not to offend the pricing sensibilities, as well as not rule out the current market trends. Again, I'm here to advise you on finding the highest realistic price, as well as discussing and negotiating any additional expenses like fees, inspections, warranties, and even factors like how long you want to have access to the home after closing. When we meet, my goal is to answer your most important questions. This is, what is the most you can get for your home? What are we going to do to get your home sold? And how much money are we going to put in your pocket? If you have any other questions, please let me know so we can address them together. Thank you for your time. If you have any other questions regarding pricing strategy, feel free to contact me and I'll be happy to help.